La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la la. There's a radio in my head playing our favorite songs. I rewind it back to the Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. This is the third installment in the series of podcasts that I've been working on right now, based on the project that I did, in remembering my mother. And that project was titled Dancing with My Mother. The song and the poem that I'm going to be talking about today is titled Favorite Songs. And this is a poem that I wrote in the days immediately, following her passing. And I shared this one with my siblings at the time, just trying to, put into words what I was thinking and what I was feeling. And I hope that, it'll make sense to you. So let's jump into it and see if I can make it make sense. So the first part of this poem says, there's a radio in my head playing our favorite songs. I rewinded back to the first song, the first hello. It's obvious that I don't really remember the first song that my mother ever played or sang, played for me or sang to me or for me. But, when I was thinking about it, I believe, in the journals, medical journals for pediatricians and whoever, there's a common thinking in there that, for a child, that bond with the mother is the first thing, the environment in the womb. You get to become familiar with the rhythm of the mother's life, even her heartbeat, and anything, that it affects the child that she's carrying. And to me, even though I don't know if any one of us can say I remember when I was in the womb, but that's, to me, it's like the first song, that harmony. And in my head, obviously, the song in my head that I might be trying to replay, I don't think I can say I remember if she played this song or if she sang this particular song. That's not what I'm trying to say. But it's just that understanding that my life was in rhythm with hers. And even if you just want to skip all that and go to probably the first person who held me and said, hello there, little baby boy, probably that was her too. So, that first hello could have been that. But that's kind of what I was trying to communicate in that moment, that the song in my head, the radio in my head, takes me back to that feeling, makes me feel that way, that she was there. And those moments, our favorite moments, just the two of us. It could have been, I don't know, I can talk about the way things are, like with me and my wife. When I go to work, she stays at home with the kids. It could be that in those moments when I was a baby and my father worked, that she was there. And whatever it took, maybe to soothe me, to make me, when I was maybe loud and crying, maybe what it took to make me quiet, what it took to help me fall asleep. Because I've done it with my kids. I know you can sometimes I can play a record, I can hold them and rock them to sleep. Or, you could hum a tune or you could sing. So it could be any of those. And now that I'm a parent, I can imagine her doing the same things for me. And the next part says, I try to avoid the last song. I don't want to remember our last goodbye, a reminder of what is gone forever. I mean, that one is easy to explain, I think. The first hello, that one I would like to hold on to that forever. But the last goodbye, I wish I could postpone that. I think in the last episode, I was talking about I wish I had 10 more years with her. I try to avoid the last song. I wish the last time we enjoyed each other's laughter, the last time we enjoyed each other's just joy was not the last time. I wish we could have had many more of those moments. And it's not that I try to avoid thinking about them, but I do wish they had not been the last. So, even our last goodbye, I was able to just call her. I think that on the last day, my sister tried to put her on the phone, but it was at the time when she was, going in and out of recognizing what was happening, and it wasn't quite the goodbye that I would have wanted. So those moments are gone forever, and it is what it is. And then this part says, I know you loved me before any other, cared about me before you even knew my name, before you ever saw my face, before you could hear my voice. I think that's a precious thing. There are episodes that we've done as a family where we talked about my great-grandmother, Makara, and what it was like for her when she gave birth to her many children with albinism, and how society was not open or welcoming to those children. And then when I did the episode where I talked about my mother, I think that's the one titled Mother. I talked about my mother where she had a dream, and in the dream she had 3 children with albinism, and how that settled it in her heart that whatever child, God would give her, she would love that child. And I think in that episode, we go into depth talking about how the nurses at the hospital when I was born, they doubted that I would be loved, especially by my father, which turned out to be like a no-brainer for him. But to love me, that's what I'm trying to say. But the fact that someone can decide to love a child before they even know what that child is gonna be like, that in that story, the story of her life, that's a remarkable thing. I think as a parent, I can understand. I feel the same way about all my children. Whenever we found out that my wife was pregnant, it was like, okay, this is good. There was no second thoughts about it. I think someone who could say the same thing is my sister Gwen. Like I said, in my mother's dream, she had 3 kids with albinism. So when she got pregnant the second time, people were actually mocking her and making fun of her and asking her if she'd lost her mind. Like, what happens if you have another child like the other one? Your husband for sure will leave you this time. And no, she didn't stand for any of that. So this part, I know it speaks to me directly. Like, before others, I'm not talking about the whole world, but there was some who had a hard time accepting me. But there were plenty who did just love me from day one. I think my siblings, my father's family, there was no doubt whatsoever that I was loved. But I've faced some adversity in life, and with some folks not being willing to accept a person who looks like I do. But she made it a non-issue for me. She loved me before I even knew that others didn't. Before I knew that there was an option to being loved, and that's a part of it's a fact of life, but it's also in itself, it's a beautiful song to me. And then the next part says, now all I have are memories of the happy home that you made for me, the strength you gave to me when I was young and afraid. You created a safe world for me. Again, if you want to hear more of the stories that go along with this, you can go and listen to some of those previous episodes, and you can hear a lot more of how she made a life for me that made me feel safe and gave me the strength to go, to go and face my daily life. And by daily life, I'm talking about practical things like just going to school. I remember that my very first day of school, first grade, day one, she went with me. I probably was the only one in my class whose parent walked into class with the rest of the students and with the teacher and made sure that, their child was sitting in the appropriate place and all that stuff. And she kept showing up like that for me throughout my early days of school. There are days that I remember that she would just come to school and she would not come into my class, and there was no reason for her to be there. But she would walk by my classroom, and I would know somehow that she was there. And sometimes she might bring a banana and hand it to the teacher, and the teacher would hand it to me. And of course, made me feel special. But just knowing that she was a presence in my life is part of what gave me the strength to say, I can do this, because I knew she always had my back. So this part that says, the strength you gave to me when I was young and afraid, you created a safe world for me. It's tangible things like that I knew wherever environment she put me in, I wasn't going to be alone, like she was always watching over me. And that's, when I say young and afraid, I really mean young and afraid. There's a fear that I had, because some of the kids were not very friendly, and she could have kept me at home and said, I'll just protect you here. But she gave me the strength to go out and face my foes, even though, I was just a puny little kid. And I think in this next part, I come back to the reality that she's gone too soon. I said, gone too soon. You have left me way too fast. That is all my mind keeps telling me. And that's true. it's when my sister called me and my brother and I were on the phone, all I could think of was it wasn't supposed to be happening, not at that time. Like, she went too fast. Like, it was too quick. And that is all my mind kept telling me. Like, I was glad for her sake that she didn't suffer long. But I felt cheated and robbed of the opportunity to spend more time with her. As a parent and child, our relationship was never like, we did not sugarcoat things, me and my mother. I think that's one of the things that we had going for us. Whenever my mother and I would talk, I felt like I could always be honest with her. So even about end of life discussions, conversations, she would say something like, "You need to do this for me now while I'm still here. What do I care if you have the best funeral for me?" There's no such thing as the best funeral, but maybe you get the idea. How does it benefit me if you, I don't know, put me in the most expensive casket? It doesn't benefit me. And so we lived with that honesty, knowing that we had to enjoy the moments we had. We had to invest in the times that we had. And even though those might sound like just songs, like words, that's music to me. Those were music. Those were beautiful melodies to me. And that's where my mind went to, And yeah, the fact that I feel robbed, that's the sentiment that I'm trying to express here. In the next part, I say, I've lost my mother. I've lost my friend. I've lost the best thing that has ever happened to me. I mean, there's no doubt that I've lost my mother. But I also know that at this stage in my life, my mother was a friend to me. I'm raising some teenagers right now, and I have to remind them that we're not friends yet, that I'm their father and they are my children. And I say that not because I don't want to be friendly with my kids, but they still need a father. They still need me to be a father in their lives. We are living in every parent can say this, no matter what generation it is, but we're living in what feels like perilous times. We're living in, maybe our times that the times we're living in feel different because social media is like the nth power to everything. Everything feels very forceful and very present. Anything bad that happens in the world is delivered to you in no time at all. And we are forced to, as parents, help our kids navigate things that are not necessarily for children. And if I try to be a friend and I become like them, sometimes I feel like I need to be someone who says, no, we're not doing this right now. We're not paying attention to some of these things right now. A friend may not do that to you, for you, like a peer that my children may want would be someone who says, well, the world is falling apart, and we all jump into it, Oh, we all commiserate. But there's a certain man and a certain type of woman that I want them to be when they grow up. And I feel that there is a weight on me, on my shoulders, on my heart, to be a father in this moment, so I can help shape them, help them see for themselves, what the best version of themselves can be. And that's not easy. That's sometimes challenging their limited knowledge of the world. Persuading them as best as I can to stop and see, their mental roadblocks, that with a little bit of knowledge that they have acquired right now, they can be they can be very dangerous if I just let them go on into this world and start talking about what they think and how they think life really ought to be. So yeah, I remember when I was a child, my mother did not just say, you are my best friend, let's just hang out. No, there were times when she had to, be steadfast in some things and say, no, I am your mother and this is what it is. And I also give credit to my father for doing the same things, not just for me, but for all of my siblings. Like, nah, we're not friends yet. I still make the rules around here. I still have expectations around here, and things are going to be a certain way. But when I became a father, and as my children, got older, that relationship did change some. And she gave me that space to be a parent. And I could go to her and we could talk as friends, and we became friends over time. And the part that says I've lost the best thing that has ever happened to me, I honestly don't want anyone else in my life to feel slighted because of this one. But I cannot imagine a better mother for myself. And because of her and the work that she put into raising me, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. And my friends and my siblings and my neighbors and my co-workers, you all get to reap the benefits of the awesome woman that she was and the awesome work that she did to shape me into the man that I am today. So I hope no one feels slighted and say, well, but we are your sons and your daughter. Why can't we be the best thing that ever happened? Or for my wife to say, but I am the love of your life. Why can't I be the best thing that ever happened? If my mother had not helped me to become the man that I became, I don't see that the testimony of what I am today will be the same. So I think that statement is true. I know it is true, and I'm not going to change that one. But it doesn't mean that all other relationships are not the best for what they are. Just my mother was the best mother that I could ever have asked for. And God knew what He was doing when she put me in her life. This next part says, until I see you again, as much as it hurts, I will let this record play on. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to run away from the memories. I'm not going to run away from the moments that we shared. Even though sometimes it hurts to think about her. But the record must play on. I hope I have many more years to enjoy the memories that we made. For the sake of my own children, I hope I get to be around for a long time, because I would like for them to enjoy my presence as much as I enjoyed hers. And I don't want them to feel cheated whenever the end comes for me. The next part says, I cherish every moment that we shared. Great memories you've given me. I treasure each thought of you until we meet again. And this is a theme for me. I believe my mother went to be with Christ. She's in heaven. And that's where I want to be. That's my destiny also. All the things that I do in this life, I don't want any of those to steer me away from that ultimate. In Christian speak, we have many things for it, but that's the ultimate goal. That when this life is over, I want to be exactly where she is. And obviously I want the same thing for my sons and my daughters, for my wife, all my friends, all the people in my life, and my neighbors, or whoever you are, wherever you are. That'll be the best thing for me. That at the end, we all meet again in heaven. This next part says, laughter is not as sweet without you. Tears fill my weeping heart. I want to be where you are. I want you to come back to me. I want to turn back the hands of time, live in our best memories forever, and make a home there with you in heaven. I do like how this sounds like a contradiction of all the terms. But it's really not a contradiction. It's the way I felt in that moment. My laughter was not as sweet. Definitely not when I wrote this. Tears were filling up my weeping heart. That was true. And talking about heaven, I wanted to be where she was. At the same time, I wish she could come back so we could continue with what we're doing here, with all the plans that we had. I did wish I could turn back the hands of time, because if I could turn back the hands of time, maybe I could know, like, I could know what to do to prevent the outcome that, I was dealing with. Or I could just turn back the hands of time and just put our best memories on a loop, Just put our life in a loop of all the best moments. But also, just to make my home in heaven there with her. These are all things that I really wished for. Like, I wish I could step into heaven in that moment. Not die, like I didn't wish I would be taken, but I wish I could have a glimpse into it and make my home there with her. Like, this is beautiful too. To be in heaven with her would be beautiful also. And the last part says, I play the music we used to dance to, but you're not here to dance with me. The party has come to the end. Where is the fun in dancing alone if my dance partner is not here with me? I was thinking about this part earlier before I made this recording. And the thing that was coming to my mind is a song that we sang as a family the day before I left Zimbabwe. I think I've mentioned this again in other podcasts. So if you go back and listen, you might actually hear me talk about this before in the prior episodes. But what I was thinking about here says I play the music we used to dance to. And dancing, I can think of songs we used to dance to, like move our bodies to. But what I was thinking about here is a song. It's a hymn, actually. It's called "Abide with Me." It was written in 1847 by a gentleman named Henry Light. And I don't want to go too much into it exactly, but it's a song of supplication. It's a song of abiding faith. It's a song of maybe prayer. But it also has a song that talks about the life to come, so death in a way, in a sense. But this is the song that we actually sang the night before I got on my flight when I left Zimbabwe in 1999 and flew over to the United States. And of course, I'll just go over some of the words in it. Like the first verse says, "Abide with me. Fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, abide with me." They're very, it's a song that just, someone who's seeking that presence of God, just saying, don't leave me, And I know when I sang this song, because my family asked me before I left, like, what song do you want us to sing? And that was my favorite. We sang, we prayed, people gave me words of wisdom and all kinds of stuff and warnings about things to avoid. But this was my choice even back then. And I was 21 at the time. So you can do the math to see how old I am now. But this is a song that whenever I thought about our relationship, even when me and her were just on the phone and we would sing, this is one of the songs that we would have sung together, And I say, I play the music we used to dance to, but you're not here to dance with me. The party has come to the end. Where is the fun in dancing alone if my dance partner is not here with me? It's the songs where, and I talk about joy and meaningful, when we sang them together. It's different now when I go to songs like this one, because we understood, we had a shared fellowship, a shared communion in our faith. There's a difference now in the songs, because when I sing them, all I hear is my own voice, that when I used to accompany hers or when she used to accompany mine, that's no longer there. And it's not the same. So using dance here as a substitute for just the songs, the music itself. Yeah, I do play the music we used to sing together, but she's not here to sing with me. the party has come to the end. Where's the fun in singing alone? Now that my singing partner is not here with me. I know that some of these thoughts kind of run deep, you know, and I do apologize for that. I'm not trying to just dampen your spirits, but one of the things that one of the other reasons why I'm doing this is because sometimes when I watch documentaries or listen to radio programs when they're talking to a songwriter or not a songwriter, someone who might write like an essay writer or other poets, and they ask them, hey, so what made you write this? And the person conducting the interview or participating in the dialogue might be like, here's what I thought you might have been thinking. And I know that I'm not there. No one might ever even care that I wrote these things. No one might even ask me. But again, I do this also for my children later on in life. Hopefully when they sit down and say, what was that old man talking about in 2025? They can come back to these and they can be like, oh, that's what he actually meant. That's what he was thinking. And I would have saved everyone a lot of trouble trying to speculate as to what was he thinking about when he was writing all these things. And hopefully it makes sense to you guys that sometimes it's just good to know what was the individual actually thinking when they were putting these words down on paper. So take that for what it's worth. Again, I'm glad that if you listened this far, thank you for listening to Life Story, our podcast, to the stories that we like to share. And I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.